I'm gonna swipe left. You kind of look like my son.
You know why I mind my business? And that's why you brung up Chrisean Jesus. Not Junior. His name is not Junior. Blue, you're not gonna live a long time. You know, I can't wait when me and my son just go visit your grave one day. You feel me?
Yo, listen up, fam. This situation with Chrisean Rock and Blueface just spun into something wild, and the internet's still trying to catch its breath over it. What Chrisean did on Instagram Live came off like she was lining Blueface up for danger, and the streets couldn't believe what they were hearing. She went online, dropped that man's exact address in front of thousands of viewers, and basically let the world know where he sleeps. That type of move ain't regular social media drama. That's the kind of thing that can get someone seriously hurt out here, and everybody watching knew it instantly. And what makes it even crazier, this whole meltdown started from a light joke Blueface made about their baby during a dating show segment.
Okay.
Okay.
They gonna know what I'm talking about.
A joke, but the way Chrisean reacted pushed everything off a cliff in seconds. 1 minute she's talking heated, the next she's talking about people pulling up, talking about grim stuff like grave visits, and acting like she was giving out a GPS location for beef. The vibe flipped from messy reality show energy to something that felt way too close to real danger, and the fans who've been watching this drama for years were like, she went too far this time. This wasn't some cute back and forth. This wasn't a little breakup rant. This was reckless, emotional, and loud enough that even people who support her were like, nah, this crossed the line. When you give out somebody's address online, especially someone with a name, fans, enemies, and street situations in their background, you're basically opening the door to anybody with a phone and bad intentions. And that's why folks saying what Chrisean did could have put Blueface in a dangerous position without her even realizing how quick things can turn in real life. But before we jump deeper into the new mess, we gotta take a step back and remind folks just how chaotic this relationship been from day one. Blueface and Chrisean Rock been moving like a storm ever since they linked up on his show, Blue Girls Club. And everybody who watched them knows this bond been rocky from the jump. Their timeline got everything: fights caught on camera, arguments exploding online, police involvement, breakups, reunions, and wild moments that had fans confused on whether they were watching a relationship or a full-time disaster series. Chrisean Rock, for anyone who might be new here, is a rapper and reality star who blew up fast off the show and then became a major part of Blueface's brand and drama. Their connection turned into something intense, public, and messy in a way that hip-hop almost never sees at this level. And every time people think they've seen the worst of it, a new situation pops up that somehow tops the last one. And trust, this latest one might be the scariest yet. From that point forward, everything between Blueface and Chrisean got complicated with lightning speed, and the vibe went from chaotic to downright explosive. They started dating, and it was obvious from day one that their connection wasn't peaceful at all. Videos kept dropping of the two of them clashing in public, with real arguments turning physical, and the internet watching every moment like a live show.
What? I know, bro. You all right, dude? Bro, that's not good, bro. Damn, dude. Bro.
No.
Damn, dude. Damn, yo. Damn. Yo, you guys just dropped the phone? You just dropped the phone?
One of the most talked about moments was when Chrisean lost her tooth during one of their altercations, and from there the situation never slowed down. Police stepping in, court situations being rumored, tension building nonstop. Their whole timeline looked like a real-life warning sign. But in the middle of all that uproar, Chrisean ended up pregnant with Blueface's son, Chrisean Jr., who was born in 2023, and that right there made everything even harder to manage. While she was carrying the baby, Blueface was still publicly tangled up with his other child's mother, Jaden Alexis, and their back and forth added a whole extra layer of drama to the situation. Eventually, Blueface drifted right back into Jaden's arms, and they even got married, which turned the tension into a full-blown love triangle hiding in plain sight. So now you had two households, a newborn, and two sides throwing shade, and none of it was being handled with calmness or maturity. And when Chrisean Jr. was born, the internet immediately started talking about his appearance. comparing him to Blueface and turning it into this messy conversation online. Blueface cracked jokes, other folks cracked jokes, and even though none of it was directly aimed at harming the child, it definitely hit Chrisean emotionally. She was reacting hard, trying to defend her baby, and that pressure been building for months. Remember that because it connects directly to the newer situation. Then out of nowhere, Blueface caught a new case and ended up back in jail. And while he was locked up, Chrisean was out here living her own life, going back and forth between Los Angeles and Baltimore, pulling up in different cities, posting online, and moving however she felt like moving. Meanwhile, whatever co-parenting they were supposed to be doing kept breaking down over and over again, with both sides throwing indirect comments, posting subliminal messages, and disagreeing about everything from custody to communication. The whole thing looked stressful from every angle. Blueface finally got released not too long ago, and people started hoping maybe the two could call a truce and act right for the sake of their son. Something simple, something peaceful, something that didn't involve them tearing each other down in public again. But the moment he stepped back into the picture, the tension came right back with him, and it was clear that whatever they had going on wasn't close to being fixed. But nah, fam, these two can't stay out of chaos for more than 2 weeks straight. Every time the smoke settles, something flips the whole situation right back into a circus again, and the internet sits front row every single time. So that's the foundation we're dealing with here. A toxic ex-couple, a baby in the middle, communication skills at zero, and a fan base that eats the drama up like entertainment. This ain't new, but what just happened pushed things into a whole different lane. Now let's break down the moment that turned regular messy behavior into something that felt genuinely risky. Blueface recently popped up on one of those YouTube dating shows. The 20 versus 1 style setups where one person goes through a lineup and eliminates folks until they pick who they vibe with. These shows been getting major attention, especially with rappers and influencers hopping on for clout, jokes, and viral clips. Blueface jumped into one, and at first everything looked like the usual internet flirting and goofy energy. He's going down the line, talking to each girl, cracking jokes, doing his standard Blueface persona, but then he steps up to one specific girl, and that's where everything detonated. Blueface looks at her, laughs, and hits her with the line, and this is exactly what he said: "You look like my son." Then he keeps going with it, saying her face reminds him of his baby boy with Chrisean. That joke was the spark that set everything off. Now listen, was that a smooth joke? No. Was it necessary? Not really. Was it the type of thing a celebrity should probably avoid? Definitely. But rappers and entertainers toss out weak jokes all the time. And most of the time, folks laugh, shrug it off, and move on. This was Blueface being messy and trying to take a side shot at his ex through a random girl on a dating show. Childish for sure, but still nowhere near what came next. The clip starts spreading fast. People cut it, repost it, add captions, and turn it into meme content within minutes. Some people joked along with it. Others said he crossed the line and was disrespecting the mother of his child. And the internet did what it always does: split into teams and start fighting in the comments. But even with all that noise, nobody expected the next part to go where it went. Because when Chrisean Rock saw that clip, she didn't roll her eyes, she didn't drop a simple subliminal message, and she didn't vent privately. She reacted in a way nobody thought she would. A way that had the whole internet sitting still for a second, trying to figure out if she really meant what she said. And that's exactly where things turned from petty jokes to something that could have gone extremely wrong in real life. Now fam, she didn't just react. She went full nuclear on live, and the energy shifted the moment she tapped that start broadcast button.
Keep going against our kid, bro. You're not gonna live a long time bullying your second son, bro. That's crazy. And you know why I think he bullying our kid? Cause I love my son more than him.
The second Chrisean popped up on screen, you could see she was in a whole different mindset. Angry, fired up, emotional, and ready to unload everything she had been holding in for months. This wasn't a regular rant, this was scorched earth mode, and Blueface was the target from the very first sentence. She started snapping about how Blueface was bullying their child, calling him a bad father, claiming he didn't deserve blessings, and the chat didn't even have time to breathe before she took things way further. Then Chrisean said something that made everybody watching freeze for a second with wide eyes.
You know, I can't wait when me and my son just go visit your grave one day. You feel me?
she started talking about visiting Blueface's grave with their son. Yeah, she really said that on live. Think about that for a moment. She wasn't talking like someone who was mad. She was talking like someone speaking in past tense about someone still living. She was saying lines like, he's not going to live long, and you going to go first over my dead body, and the vibe instantly turned dark. That's the type of talk that, in street language, people describe as putting something in the air, because the words start sounding like prediction instead of insults. It felt way too close to something real, and even the people who usually cheer on the chaos were uncomfortable. Up to that point, everything was messy and out of pocket, but technically still just emotional words flying around. Drama like this pops up in hip-hop relationships all the time. Shouting, name-calling, anger spilling over on live. Nothing brand new. But then she crossed the line you can't come back from, and the comment section flipped instantly. Because right in the middle of her rant, while she was still going off at full speed, she did the one thing nobody expected. The one thing nobody could defend. The one thing that turned this whole situation from messy into dangerous.
His address is 18663 Juniper Springs Drive. For everybody, go lock that up.
She began giving out Blueface's actual home address on camera in front of thousands of people watching in real time. She started saying the numbers out loud, 1-8, and kept going, repeating the full location clear enough for anybody to write it down. The chat exploded instantly. People were screen recording, comments flying so fast you couldn't keep up. Folks saying, yo, she wilding for real. People warning her to stop. Others shocked she even thought this was okay. It was one of the most chaotic live reactions anyone had seen in a long time. And let's be clear, dropping someone's address isn't just messy. It's dangerous in a way that can't be undone. And here's why it's not just regular internet drama. Blueface isn't some quiet celebrity with no history, no tension, and no people who might have issues with him. He has real background situations, real street ties, and real people who might not like him for reasons deeper than social media drama. And Chrisean didn't just drop his city, she dropped the exact place where he sleeps. Los Angeles is not the kind of city where you can hand out someone's address like it's nothing. There are real situations, real politics, real problems that can get triggered by information being put out like that. This wasn't a harmless, I'm mad right now moment. This was giving out a roadmap straight to his door, with thousands of people watching and reacting in real time. But even after she dropped the location, she didn't slow down. She kept going, repeating threats and lines that had viewers stunned.
You couldn't get a response out of me for anything you was doing, so you mentioned my son. Blue, you're not gonna live a long time.
She was saying things like, you not safe out here, you going to go first, and over my dead body, while still talking about how she didn't care what happened. Anyone listening could tell it sounded like she was basically telling the world, if you want him, here he is. It wasn't that she directly told someone to do anything, but the energy of the moment, the anger, the statements, and the address all together made it sound like she was giving a signal, whether she meant to or not. And everybody watching felt it instantly. Even fans who normally defend her were shocked, saying she crossed the line into a zone where accidents can happen, people can misinterpret things, and situations can spin out of control fast. That live didn't come off like a regular rant. It came off like a warning, a meltdown, and an address drop all wrapped into one, and nobody watching could deny how dangerous that combination felt. She wasn't just venting. She was putting out what a lot of folks in the streets would straight up describe as a green light, and everybody watching felt the shift instantly. The comment section blew up in two different directions at once, half the viewers cheering her on like, get him, Chrisean, he deserved it for playing with your son, while the other half was panicking, saying she crossed every line by dropping someone's address on live. People were typing, someone could really get hurt now because the danger wasn't hypothetical anymore. And here's where the whole thing gets extra wild, because the hypocrisy hit harder than anything she said on that live. This part matters, so pay attention. Remember how Chrisean been bouncing back and forth between Los Angeles and Baltimore for months? That detail isn't random. It connects directly to how reckless this whole moment really was. For the longest time, Chrisean been online saying LA is too dangerous for her. She was posting about how she felt unsafe in the city, how people were supposedly after her, how she needed to protect her son, and how the streets were too hot for her to move around freely. She even packed her bags, left LA, and headed back to Baltimore, saying she feared for her own safety out west. That was her whole explanation. LA was too wild. But now, off a simple joke from a YouTube dating show, she jumps on live and starts dropping Blueface's address while saying he not safe out here. All that talk about protecting herself disappears the second she gets mad. The same person who said she couldn't stay in Los Angeles because it was too dangerous is suddenly the one making LA dangerous for somebody else. That's the part that had a lot of viewers confused and calling out the double standard. Think about it. She said she couldn't trust anybody in LA, but then she hands the entire internet the exact location of the man who's tied to her through a child. How does someone go from running away from danger to creating danger for someone else in the same city they're scared of? That's the type of contradiction nobody could ignore. And the timing made it even crazier because people didn't forget her past behavior. Viewers were quick to point out that Chrisean has had moments before where she stirred up serious street tension online. There were times she made comments that had folks from different sets feeling disrespected, comments that could have sparked real problems between people who do not play around with politics or alliances. Back then, when the pressure came back toward her, she dipped to Baltimore fast, barely stuck around to deal with the fallout. People kept saying she poked the bear, then ran when the bear stood up. And honestly, that's exactly how it looked to the internet. She would start something, watch it explode, then disappear until the heat cooled down. But this time, she didn't even pretend to hide her hand. She threw the rock, watched it land, and stayed online yelling while thousands of viewers flooded in. That's why this whole event hit so differently. The live wasn't just emotional. It came off like she was lighting a match near gasoline, and everybody in the chat was witnessing something that could have gone real wrong in real life. And the internet didn't miss a single detail. The contradiction, the anger, the address, the timing, all of it made her live one of the most reckless things people had seen from her in a minute. She went on camera with her full face showing and literally said, "Come get him, here's the address." And the whole internet knew instantly that she crossed into a zone you can't walk back from. The reaction from the streets was almost immediate. People who actually understand how Los Angeles works, the politics, the alliances, the tension, the history, were warning everyone that this wasn't just messy drama. This was the type of move that could put someone in real danger, because giving out a location is one of the worst things you can do when emotions and street connections are mixed. While she was still talking, Twitter and Instagram exploded with reactions. Folks were saying she went way too far this time, that this wasn't just social media pettiness. People were reminding each other that Blueface is still the father of her child, and you don't play with someone's life no matter how angry you are. There were comments saying things like, "She always crying about being in danger, but she the most dangerous one in this situation." And this not co-parenting, this looked like she coordinating something. The tone changed fast. Even supporters who normally take Chrisean's side in every argument were backing away, saying they couldn't defend this one. And that's because everyone could see the truth behind it. This wasn't about protecting her child or standing up for herself. This was about revenge, frustration, anger, and using the internet like a weapon in a way that could bring real consequences. She wasn't trying to calm the situation. She was trying to escalate it, and she did it in front of thousands. So let's zoom out for a second, because what happened here is bigger than Chrisean Rock and Blueface. We living in a time where social media is basically a tool, and sometimes that tool gets used like a weapon that can hit real lives, real homes, real people. What Chrisean did on that live has a name: doxing. That's when you expose someone's private information on purpose, knowing it could put them at risk. And in a bunch of states, that's actually illegal. You can face charges for it if the intent looks malicious or connected to threats. And when you mix doxing with emotional statements that sound like violence, the whole situation jumps into a different category that courts do not take lightly. That's why so many people were warning her in the comments while she was still talking. Because this wasn't just drama, this could be seen as criminal behavior. This is the downside of how the internet moves now. People get heated, go live, start venting, start trying to win, start trying to go viral, start trying to embarrass the other person. And they forget that the internet is not a separate world anymore. What you post can land in real hands, real neighborhoods, real situations, and real consequences. The line between online and real life is gone. So now the question is, where do things stand at this moment? As of right now, that Instagram live is still everywhere. People reposted it, clipped it, screen recorded it, dropped it on YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, everywhere. The address, she said, is now on multiple platforms, and once that kind of information gets out, you can't pull it back. It's out forever. Blueface responded online, but he's trying to play it cool, cracking jokes, pretending it doesn't bother him, posting lighthearted clips like it's not a big deal. But let's be real, behind the scenes, he has to be moving different now. Nobody gets their address dropped in front of thousands and continues acting like everything is normal. Even if he believes she was just angry and talking wild, he knows there are other people out there who might see that information as an opportunity. And that's the quiet danger in all this. It ain't always the person yelling that causes the harm. Sometimes it's the quiet person watching from the sidelines who decides to make a move. And after that live, Blueface is definitely looking around more, checking his surroundings, and paying attention in a way he probably wasn't before. Because once a location hits the internet, you don't get to pretend it never happened. Chrisean been online acting like nothing even happened, posting her regular content like she didn't just go live and drop information that could get somebody hurt. She's laughing in videos, making new posts, moving like it was just another day, and that alone had people stunned. Some folks are saying she might end up facing legal trouble for what she did, while others think Blueface won't take it to court because of their history and because he doesn't want even more tension with the mother of his child. But here's the real question we gotta face right now. When is enough truly enough? When do people stop clapping for toxic behavior and start seeing it for what it is? A dangerous cycle that keeps getting worse every time it goes unchecked. Because this situation ain't funny anymore, this ain't cute, and this definitely ain't normal. It's a pattern that keeps climbing and nobody seems able to stop it. And the saddest part in all this chaos is the fact that there's a child right in the middle of it, a kid who didn't ask for any of this drama, but is tied to both of them forever. One day he's going to grow up, pick up his phone, search his name, search his parents' names, and see all these videos, arguments, threats, rants, messy lives, everything. That's a heavy thing for any young person to scroll through, and none of this is his fault at all. This little boy is going to see clips of his parents going at each other, exposing each other, calling each other out in public, and saying things that should have never been said online. And that's the part that hurts the most because he's the one who carries the impact long after the internet moves on to the next storyline. These videos stay online forever, and kids don't get to escape the receipts, so let's keep it real for a second. What we saw wasn't just celebrity drama, it wasn't harmless entertainment, and it wasn't just a heated moment between two people who used to date. What we witnessed was someone so emotional, so focused on payback, that she didn't realize she could be putting the father of her child in danger with real-world consequences. That's not just messy, that's serious. You can think Blueface made a bad joke, you can think he handled things wrong, you can think Chrisean had a right to be upset, but dropping someone's address and talking like their life doesn't matter is a whole different level. And no matter which side people usually support, almost everyone agrees he didn't deserve to have his safety pushed into danger like that. This moment right here says everything about how far internet drama can go when emotions take over. What happened between Blueface and Chrisean wasn't just a messy argument, it turned into one of the most dangerous celebrity meltdowns the culture has seen in a long time, and everyone watching could feel how real it got. When a simple joke turns into address drops, threats, and street-level tension, you know the line between entertainment and reality just disappeared. And the wild part? Nobody can control where the story goes now. That live didn't just vanish, it's been reposted, clipped, shared, and turned into 1,000 conversations. Once something hits the internet with that kind of force, you can't take it back. Even if everyone tries to move forward, the damage is already sitting online forever, waiting for the next person to hit play. But let's be honest, this whole situation exposed something bigger than Blueface, bigger than Chrisean, and bigger than any joke or dating show moment. It showed exactly how dangerous it is when emotions mix with clout, when private anger gets broadcast to the world, and when someone uses a phone like a weapon instead of a tool. That combination is explosive, and this time, it nearly crossed the line into something tragic. Blueface might be brushing it off publicly, cracking jokes, acting like he's unbothered. But behind the scenes, everyone knows he's watching every move around him now. You can't have your location blasted to thousands and pretend you're moving the same way. That's not how the streets work. And even if Chrisean didn't mean for things to go that far, someone else might take that information and act on it, and that's the danger nobody can control. And at the end of the day, there's still a child connected to both of them. A kid who deserves peace, stability, and parents who aren't going viral for threatening each other. That's the part that hits the hardest because the consequences don't stop with the argument. They hit the family, the future, and the reputation that child grows up with. So if this moment showed us anything, it's this. Some drama isn't entertainment anymore. Some drama is a warning. And this one right here should make everyone think twice about what they post, what they say, and how far they let emotions push them online. If you want the truth behind the biggest controversies in hip-hop, the real breakdowns, and the stories the internet can't stop talking about, you already know where to lock in. Stay tuned with BarzBuzz, where the culture gets uncovered with no filters and no fear. If this saga had you shook, wait till you see what's next. You already know what it is. BarzBuzz got the real, raw, and unfiltered breakdowns. So don't forget to like and subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.